Okay, so since we've started, we got a lot of new people here, and I want to make sure that whenever we're taking application, that we're properly asking the right questions, and we sound really smooth when we're talking to the customer. And as expected, when you're new, you're not really sure what to say. And so Fernando, he's closed a lot of loans, has a lot of experience with taking applications, locking in deals, and so he's going to kind of go over some of his tips of the best practices that helps him with locking a sale, because in the beginning, when you're nervous, you're not really sure what to ask, and there is a strategy behind taking an application, and the perception. You have 30 seconds with a customer, Lee, in the beginning to sell them, to lock them in. And so it's very important that you know what you're talking about, you hit the key points, and that you end with a positive outcome with the customer. That there's some action that they're taking, like always have somebody write stuff down, have them grab a pen, or do something to look forward to the next call. So that way there's something on the line for them. So let him. He's going to discuss a few of the things that's helped him, and then we can ask. I want you guys to ask some questions too, to make sure that you guys understand what he's talking about as far as the key points. When you're taking an application, what is it that you ask, and then also the rationale behind it. Why is it that you do that? Okay. So yeah, if you can just lean into that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, when I started, I was one of the worst on the phones. They used to make fun of me. I learned a lot, from Angelo, from Josh. Josh is the man on the phone.
You got the nickname Chester.
Yeah, but anyway, the lost my train of thought. So yeah, when you start, you're gonna. I'm real methodical, so it's like you're reading off a textbook, and you don't want to be that way. This job more than anything is sales. It's good to have knowledge, financial knowledge. It's good to be smart, but that means nothing if you can't talk to people. So you want to. I usually open it up with like open-ended questions to kind of gauge their level of interest. When you first talk to somebody on the phone and you ask them yes or no questions, I have some people that I get on the phone and I ask them, if I ask them a question and they answer me yes or no, I can't, it's too serious, it's too stern. You can't feel, whether or not they're really serious or they're motivated. But then, I have a lot of times like that on the phone where I ask them, they're like yes, no. I'm like, okay, they're not really feeling it. And then I ask them an open-ended question. They actually give me a sentence, and then from there, they sound more upbeat. They sound a little more interested. So you want to try to ask more open-ended questions. You don't want it to be so yes, no, yes, no. Try to be real thorough as well. I usually go over the steps. Especially if they're a first-time home buyer, you really want to walk them through. Sound educated, sound smart, remain calm. But again, it's sales. You want to try to feel them out. Sometimes you get people on the phone that are kind of like sleepy, lazy. You don't want to. You want to try to match with that person. You want to talk real calm to them. You don't want to be too upbeat, too crazy, because then they're going to be like, this person's too much for me. But then you have your real chatterboxes, the real talkative people. You want to be more energetic on the phone with them. I try to be personable. I try to crack a joke when I can. People like that. That's really the most important thing. Once you learn, you'll get more comfortable doing it on the phone. Like I said, when I started, I sucked. I wasn't that good. But I like talking to people. I'm sure everybody here does too. So once you become more confident and more comfortable talking about the product, especially learning it, it's all about just mixing it in with the conversation. That's really the best tip I can give them. Be open-ended. Don't try to be so short answer. Educate them. People really like that. First-time homebuyers, they love that. Educate them about the home buying process. That way it makes you sound like more of an expert too. You want to let them know. Sell the company as well. This bank that we're with, previously with the old bank Supreme, turn times were pretty good, so I would sell that. I would tell them, hey, look, we can get you into the home 2-3 weeks, best case scenario. With this new bank, it's all about experience. They've been in business over 100 years, lend all across the nation. That in itself, being in business for so long, speaks a lot. So that's the biggest selling point for me, and people like that. We're a bank as well. We're not a mortgage lender. It's a direct lender, so you're getting it straight from the source. People love that as well.
A lot of that's in the script too. There's the key benefits. You always want to sell benefits.
Yeah.
Sell benefits.
Yeah, you want to kind of create a need. That's what sales is about. They might not really need it. They really might need a home. They want to stop renting. Their family size is increasing. They need to buy. But even if they don't, you want to try to make it seem like it's something that they need, and that way, at that point, they're hooked. I mean, you'll hear it sometimes on the phone. You know, I hang up and I'm like, you know, lock them in. You know, when you hang up on the phone with somebody, like you can pretty much gauge their tone when you get off the phone, and you can tell, I got him. So that's how you want it to be on the phone with them. Like, you know, if you leave it, you know, they sound kind of unsure when you hang up. You definitely want to follow up with them. You don't want to just leave it lingering. You want to maintain that person more. But like, you can tell you hang up on the phone, you had a good conversation, you give them at least 10, 15 minutes, and, you know, they'll send you your docs that same day. So
how do you inject like some of these comments where you're talking about the company, you're talking about sometimes, or you know, the program, some things where you're educating, do you just, you know, start off the bat with that, or do you kind of gauge, you know, I'm going to go over, let's go over some things about credit real quick, then I'm going to pump something in there or inject something, some information. How do you kind of navigate that?
I usually save it for the end. You know, I like to leave it on a good note. In the beginning, when I first get them on the phone, I let them talk. You know, I let them tell me what they need, and then, you know, I try to create that need early on. I try to sell the. You want to have a good close. So you always want to have a good close. So like that, if it's a big selling point about the company, I try to save that towards the end. In the beginning, I'm doing more of the educating, like, you know, I'm asking them what they need, telling them about the program, the benefits of the program, and then the benefits of working with our company towards the end.
Okay, when do you ask them for the business?
I mean, all throughout the conversation, you're not being, it's not a flat out, you
Well, I
know,
mean, like asking for the docs and trying to get commitment. I mean, do you do that towards the end though?
always
Hey,
at the end, yeah. I mean, because you build up to that, you know, throughout the conversation, you
so
want to get them
there's a
interested.
milestone. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, first education, I get them on the phone, identify their need, and then, you know, let them know, hey, I got what you need. This is what you're looking for. I got it. And then from there, you know, they're interested. You know, you build that relationship, you build that rapport. You know, you get them interested most of all. That's the most important thing. And then from there, you let them know that you can offer them what they're looking for. You sell them on the company, and then from there, you know, I mean, you got to seal the deal.
Okay.
Good night kiss.
Now, so some of the takeaways I got here is that you said you educate the customer.
Mhm.
So does everyone understand the importance of that? People love knowledge, they love to learn, and most of your customers are first-time buyers. So they don't know what the loan process is. They don't even know what a mortgage is. Most people don't that we deal with. So, and I'm not saying that just to exaggerate. Since doing this for so long, I know when we talk to people, they really don't know what a mortgage is. So we need to come off as an expert, an educator, and really teach them. People love to be taught. They're an expert in a domain, and so it seems very intriguing. And then you also, by doing that, it establishes a fidelity with them. You know, because now, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. I can trust him. You know, yes, sir.
And one thing that Fernando does really well is, you know, he says he's methodical, and he gets the product knowledge over, and then he does his got-ems, like this is what I got, kind of this, and then he ends with the trust badge. It's like, hey, you know, this is, and that he does it every single time I hear him. It's product knowledge, got-ems, trust badge, and that's how he does it. And then when he ends with that trust badge, it's really like, well, I got it, because that's where the pivotal of I'm going to either go forward with you or not. You know, I trust you to handle my loan, and he ends it pretty well.
There was another key point here that he had mentioned, and I wanted these are strategies. This is not just unconscious talking, and that's mirror and matching. Okay, mirror and matching. I've had you guys watch these videos on mirror and matching. So what does that mean?
Match the personality.
Right, match the personality. If you hear kids in the background, you have to grab it very fast and pay very close attention.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier.
So,
like, if they sound sleepy on the phone, you know, you want to kind of, you know, come down to their level or go up to their level. You want to, you know, match that level of energy. So
Apparently, Chester's got a few kids running around the house sometime.
Well, that's how you got the name Chester. So,
they come out when I need them to come out. I've told people I have kids before. I'm married.
listen, all I'm saying is that mirror and matching work. Because see, people. Well, wait a second. People want to do business with people that they like, right? Or they aspire to be like, right? I can just tell you that personally. You know, when I bought my Audi, the guy that I really liked him a lot, and so that's one of the reasons why I bought the car. I wanted the car, but I went and talked to another dealer. I didn't like him. I didn't like his attitude, and so it really makes a big difference. And so when I bought my house, same thing. I mean, look back at some of the transactions, the favorite restaurants that you guys go to. It's the service that you're getting, or people that you like to be around. And so So mirror and matching is very important when you're talking to people. You want to develop that rapport quickly. If they sound country, you should probably, it might help you to dull it down with them. So I know that some of this is, it might seem, oh, well, I'm not being who I am. Well, I mean, you can definitely try to, do it your way, but if there's a communication barrier, if they talk a certain way and you're talking, if you're real astute and you're trying to talk to them and explain things to them, they may not get you. And they may not go with you because they don't understand what you're talking about.
You'll have your more savvy borrower. You really want to sound educated with them. The older crowd, good income, good credit. Younger people, millennials, you can be a little more relaxed with them. Let them know that you're young too. They'll like that. It's yeah. No, Sean brought up a good point about like being methodical. I mean, almost everything we do here, we try to automate it as much as possible. So once you get a good knowledge and understanding, I would recommend trying to stick to it. You can deviate, of course, adapt as necessary, but you want to try to follow the same script in your head. That way, you'll make sure you're not missing anything. You're setting the right expectations every time with every single borrower, and you'll have a high success rate.
Do you tell them anything about when you have that initial call when you're taking an application about what type of inspections they are going to have?
Yeah, I mean, I go over all that. When I was doing the trainings with the new guys, I tell them that like about setting expectations. I let them know about the loan program. If it's a slam dunk for USDA loan, they're in the right area, credit's good, all that. I let them know we offer other stuff, but I don't really try to push it. But if I think it might be better suited for FHA or conventional or VA, I'll kind of lean into that a little more, kind of get them interested in that program. Then I quote them their monthly payment for the size of the loan they're looking for, and then I go over their out-of-pocket, because people want to know how much I'm going to pay up front to get into the home, and how much I'm going to pay once I am in the home.
If you recall in the script, all this is in the script. Setting the expectations, estimated monthly payment, you're going to do principal and interest only, plus taxes and insurance. The out-of-pocket, what's it for, appraisals and inspections, okay? And then you're going to try and get closing costs rolled in. These are all key words. It's very important that you say it the right way. And the other thing is, we talked about earlier, instead of saying, reading off of the 1003, give me your 2 years employment history. That sounds so tacky. Okay, you need to ask them, tell me about your career. What do you do for a living? Okay, this is not like a widget you're talking to. This is a human being on the other side. And so you need to, really get in tune with it. When I said about the kids earlier, oh, you have kids, I have kids too. Tell me about it. What's their name? What do they like to do? What are their hobbies? You're trying to penetrate into the emotion quickly. If you keep it so stern, the probability of closing that sale is going to be a lot harder. You want to penetrate through the emotion very fast. So that way there's something there that you go to their subconscious. When they go to sleep at night, you want to go to their subconscious. Oh, I remember Rustin, So no, I know you think it's fun, but this is what it is. Okay, look, man.
Go on alone with Rustin.
I'm in those dreams, man. Well, no, because your voice or something you said, you did something different. And I was talking to Quick and I was talking to Lentry, but Rustin did something different. So.
Yeah, you're not there in person. I mean, the only perception they have of you is over the phone. They might see your picture in the email signature, but before they even see that, they're talking to you on the phone, and they're painting a picture in their mind. So, you want them to feel comfortable, especially since you're miles away, possibly across the country.
Right.
You want to definitely, make them feel comfortable working with you, most primarily over the phone.
That's why we do all the social media stuff, your picture and all that, and so it really helps out a lot with increasing your conversion. Your tone is extremely important. We had a loan officer here that had a very, very bad tone with people. Was very, bright, but he talked down to everybody, made everyone feel like crap. And he suffered for it severely. Had the fish in his hand, just let out his hand every time, because the way he talked to people. So you need to watch your tone very carefully. And I mean, does everyone know what I mean by that? Yeah, just like when you're talking to anybody, you want to watch how you talk. You don't want to be, ridiculous.
Yeah, don't be condescending. You're trying to get their business. You want to sound like, don't be arrogant. You want to sound like you know what you're talking about, but you don't want to make them feel like you know too much, and like you don't want to make them feel stupid, because then you could
Oh, I
lose the
hate
business
that.
that way too. Yeah.
I mean, there's a thin line between wanting them to get that trust badge, like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about, and then going above and beyond, saying, this guy, he's lost me.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
there's a thin line that you really have to know, you know, if you're punching, pull it back and explain it, and say, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's just talking.
Yeah, and that's why I say, like, when you're talking about MCC, don't get too granular with them on that, because, you know, and then if they ask questions, don't get upset, because you're explaining this to them, and then because you're gonna make them feel like they're stupid, then that's not good. You want to try and keep it as simple as possible, and it's actually a good thing if they ask questions. You know, don't get upset with them.
Yeah, I encourage it. I encourage it. Like,
Yeah.
let me know if you have any questions. But I mean, this was about taking an app, the initial app, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, initial app, you just educate them. You go over the numbers, just the initial numbers. Keep in mind, this is a process. You're going to talk to them multiple more times moving forward. So don't overload them in the initial conversation. Let them know, yes, you're qualified. This is what you're looking for monthly and out of pocket up front. And this is what I need to keep everything moving forward. You know, real sweet, simple, and then as you move further along, you'll go into the other specifics as necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I think those are the key takeaways. Watch your tone, sell benefits. One of the things I talked about, there's actually a good video. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but treating your customer like a rock star. That's a really good video. I encourage you guys to watch that. You have to roll out the red carpet for them and sell service. I mean, it's so important that you do that. You want to make people feel significant. When you make people feel significant, they're going to go with you. I mean, look at Steve Wynn. Why do people spend $3,000 on a Chanel purse? Because it makes them feel significant. Why do people spend $200,000 on a car? Because it makes them feel significant. So, but you want to make your customers feel significant. It's very important. And so when you do that, and you're obsessed with service, it's going to come out. The good things are going to come out of you. There's a different antenna that attaches to you, and the things that are going to evoke out of you, versus if you're just all about yourself. And so focus on the purpose of why you're here is to help them, and you will become rich. If you focus on your money or yourself, it's not the wrong things are going to come out of you. If you focus on the purpose, you're going to do very, very well. I mean, just think about it. If you're focusing on helping them, and that's your true goal, imagine the way you're going to talk is so different than if you're focused on them just as a unit or a dollar bill. So, but I think most everyone here, I'm not concerned with that. I just, something as a reminder. The other thing, when you are originating, you have to have, you have to be in the right state. The state of mind is crucial. If you're not in the right state, go outside for a little bit, fix your mental state, and then come back. Don't stay here if you're not in the right state. Then you're just going to go in a downward spiral. The one thing that always helped me is I always use the word treasure hunting. When I really imagined that in my mind, I was treasure hunting, searching for gold. And you look at your job a lot differently. Or I would visualize what, if I'm helping all these people, all the money that I could make, and I could do all these things, I had something that was going to motivate me or push me to, to move forward. And so to get through it. You have to have some type of vision or image that you're going after. It really helps a lot if you have that. Some of you guys, you've written your goals to me, and you have a lot of big goals. A lot of you guys do. Remember why you're here. Remember where you came from and what you're going after. You have to have that vision in your mind very clear, and see the opportunity. And we're going to do our best to help you to identify what an opportunity is so you can monetize off of it. But the teacher's only going to be here when the student is ready. I could talk all day, and whether you get it or not is going to be on you. It's not on me. And so we're going to do our best to help you and train you and educate you. And so, but these are some really good takeaways. And then at the end, again, just to go back to taking an application, ask for the business at the end, for the docs. Get them to take action, to close it. Like, what do we do in the script? We tell them, look, hey, you're pre-approved for 100,000, Reggie, but I need to get these items in. And you want to have them visualize the house. See, you already, look what you did for Reggie. Look, hey, I'm lowering your house payment. I'm getting you into a home, and we're going to make it all happen. And we're going to put you with the realtor to go look at the house. Now it's gone into his brain. So that's what you want to do.
Yeah, you want to work, I mean, really get their emotions involved. I mean, one thing I do, I hear other people saying it. I mean, we've been saying it for a long time. Like, you tell them, you sound like a great candidate. You know, you want to make them feel good, like Angela was saying about themselves, and let them know. Because a lot of people, they're nervous. They're first-time home buyers. You know, they just did this on a whim. You know, they could go either way. But, you know, if you say the right things, get them emotionally involved, then, you know, they'll definitely put in the effort. So.
I mean, you know, I would, you know, depending on, you know, ask the wife, you know, does she love to cook? You know, do you want a house with a big kitchen?
Yeah.
You know, or do you have kids? You want a house with a pool or outdoor kitchen, or what do you look? I mean, you have to see people. We're all emotional beings, So you have to get to penetrate their emotion, because that's what's going to help lock in the deal. It can't all be intellect. There are some people like, you know, that are like that, yes, but you're typically not going to be dealing too much with those type of customers. I mean, if you do get them like that, then yeah, you need to be more, you know, more rational and more educated and more sophisticated. But most of your customers are millennials. You know, the husband's working and the wife's at home with the kids, and applies online. You know, you want to, the way that you talk to her is going to be a lot different than, you know, the guy that's a, you know, financial advisor for Morgan Stanley. You know, and so, and I think that a lot of you guys do that, but it's just going to come with repetition, practice over and over and over, and getting comfortable and talking about it. So, I encourage you guys to keep practicing with the selling, and you know, and then the other part of it is, I think what I think is vital is the how crucial the follow up is after that for initial application.
Oh, definitely.
Because you could take, I mean, and we talked about this in the last train on Velocify, managing your lead queue. Okay, you take all these apps, now what? Right? You take all these applications and they just sit at pending. You know, you still have to follow up with that. Your job has just begun. Okay, you could have all these applications, but they're not going to convert unless you plow right through that and you grab them. You know, and so you have to. Some people, it's all, you know, it's all statistics, but some of them are ready to go, some of them aren't. Some of them you're going to have to, you know, drag them to closing. I mean, you know, some of the people are like that. You have to call and stay on it. So that's a whole other process and training through managing your leads. But you know, taking an application is very, very important. You say the right things. Do not sound too technical. Make it smooth. I know that's what the Compass says is 2-year employment history, but you don't ask that. You don't say debt ratio. You know, you want to sound like you're talking to them as a person. You know what I mean? So,
well, Fernando, what do you typically say about the company at the end of the call?
I mean, I always tell them about the business thing. I've been in business for so long, we lay nationwide, because it makes people feel good. Like, you know, people.
How long have we been in business?
I tell them over 100 years.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't want to say 100 or about 100. You don't want to make it sound like you're not sure. You want to, like, we've been over 100 years. You know, if you say about, it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't sound as strong as.
Right.
So, I mean, and we have been over 100 years. It hasn't been about, it hasn't been close to, it's been over, right?
Right. Okay. Right. That's correct.
So,
Do you know when? Do you know?
109 years.
109 years.
Yeah,
So
109 years. So,
1907.
so the other thing is, lastly, that what's going to make all the difference is you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in the company and the product. If you don't believe, then no one else will. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
You
like,
have to believe.
I said something earlier. I was like, USDA loans are like the loans of the future, and like, it's a little funny. They might laugh, but like, you want to just, I don't know. It's, yeah.
Rocket mortgage.
What I'm using right now as well is that, you know, we know interest rates are going up by the end of the year. You know, that's what they said. So it's a good time in these next few months You know, especially with us, or you're gonna be leaving money on the table.
Right, yeah, you make it.
Yeah,
Actually,
see, like
They
one
feel like
thing
they're gonna lose money at that point, so like you create that need, they're like, oh no, if I don't buy now, I'm gonna lose this amount of money. I mean, yes, it is true, but I mean, not really, because they're not,
Yeah, no.
but I mean, yeah.
Well, no, one thing that's good about you, Sean, that I do like is that you're very passionate on the phone.
Yeah.
They may not understand it all, but they're, you're.
So there's no chill.
No, but you're I love it. I would buy from you, you know, and but I mean, you're excited on the phone. You have to believe in the product. You have to, that's so important because what comes out of you is going to make all the difference. I mean, it's like, we saw in the video, I mean, the salesman that knocks on the door says, you don't want one of these, do you? When you act like that, then of course no one's going to buy from you. So you have to believe in it and think about, man, this is a no-brainer. Where can you go on earth and buy it? We're the only country where you get these 100% financing loans. It's not like that in Europe. It's 30% down on an arm. And so you have to save for 2 generations to buy a house, basically. I have a family member that's Slovenian, and on my wife's side, and he told me it took him 19 years to save for the down payment. He's a professor.
It's a generation.
Okay. Think about that. And then he had to put 30% down. He's on an adjustable rate mortgage. This is, just take into account what you're offering is unbelievable. So, think about it. Compared to, the Middle East or in Asia, it's way different, man. And so, and you think about that, you can buy a house with no money down. It's unreal that the government would even do something like this. So it's a no-brainer. And you have to get excited and passionate about it. And when you do that, man, it's it's going to make all the difference because people are going, wow, man, this guy's awesome, And so it really helps out a lot to convert your sales. If you're down and out, do not get on the phone. You're gonna lose. You have to go fix your mind, whatever you have to do. I do it all the time. I'll leave here for 5 or 10 minutes if I'm not in the right state, but I can't give you anything if I'm not in the right state. And so it's very important because our minds go drift, go in state, out of state, negative, bad. You always want to try to get back into a positive state quickly, so you don't let anything affect you. So,
does anybody have any questions?
Is that how you usually end the calls too?
No, I just, anything else you want to?
No, I think you've done a very good job. Like one thing I think when you talk to people, you sound very trustworthy. You don't sound sneaky or shady. You sound like you educate people, you teach them, and you're always, one of the things I always remember when you built your pipeline up fast when you started, is you gave people really good service, you to respond. That's a huge thing too.
Customer service, yeah.
Your response time. The thing that saved me, in the beginning I wasn't really good at smooth talking. I had to learn that, but my service was impeccable. It would be like a 1-minute response time. Email, phone, whatever. So you want to move like white heat on somebody. And when you have that type of coverage, how can they even go anywhere else? So that is very, very important. I think whenever you're selling and there's no physical contact, that you give very, very good service. That you respond quickly, you move quickly, answer all their questions. So hopefully this will help you guys. And I know it's repetition over and over and over, but I encourage you to start practicing on these things and talking, role playing with one another, because it will really, really help you out in scooping up a lot of loans quickly. So.
Really, listen to, like, when someone has experiences on the phone, you need to really pay attention and listen to how they're communicating, because there is skill in that, an experience that you can pick up on and apply it while you took an application today, Flavio, and then you kind of reflect back on how you did and listen on, see how someone else did to kind of modify and tune with the way that you're handling that process to improve it.
Josh is really good. When I started, I learned a lot from Josh. Angela, I never really heard you originate, so I can't say, but Josh, he mostly like the real key conversations, like when they're talking about the rate, or you not really up front, but like deeper in the process when they're like going under contract, they might be talking to another lender. I learned a lot from Josh doing that.
Josh taught you the tie flop, right?
Yeah.
So whenever they ask about the rate and they're sitting in front of you, just put your tie over that. Say,
No.
don't look at that.
Or just reel them in. Or just reel them in for USDA and flip them on page six.
No.
That's the old Josh Fisher.
No, I always tell them, I always go high on the rate up front, usually. I never have a problem with that, but,
You know, one thing about Josh, he's very thorough.
Yeah.
And I think that's really helps, where I wasn't as thorough with people on the phone. You're very thorough. I think that's.
because Angela and I were a team, back in the day, and so he'd sell them and I'd close them, and that's how we handled it, but, it's good to explain things well, where people can understand. I've heard some of you guys talking on the phone about some concepts the borrowers will not understand, so you need to be very careful and conscious of like using terminology.
Yeah.
Like, our lingo, that's our lingo, it's not the borrower's lingo. So don't use abbreviations like DTI, your housing ratio, the 3.5%. They prefer to hear things in terms that they're used to hearing them and that they can understand. That's the max LTV you can get. That's not stuff that they comprehend. So in terms of what Sean's talking about, you're going to lose people. You're gonna go way over their head, especially the millennials. In the first time.
Yeah, I mean, just like for instance, saying, instead of saying 3.5% down, and say, hey, this is your total out of pocket, or this is your total investment. Always call it an investment, because really you're buying an asset and you're reducing the balance. It's an investment. Right.
The next question they're going to have is, well, how much is that? And you always go, okay, look, if you're going to buy a $100,000 house, about $3,500 is what you have as a down payment. Give them an example that's tangible that they can comprehend.
But these are. I mean, you guys have already been using that. You're asking for their social. Can you verify your social? It makes all the difference. What do you guys think? Has it made a difference?
I haven't said yet after that. I've said verify social, and I have not even heard a pause, anything.
No, Sean's good. He gets their credit card information over the phone, pull their credit. So,
You handle those calls well. I don't think, even if you didn't say it, I don't think you'd have much of a.
But
I'm
before
saying,
they were saying
the voice, I can tell just right off the bat. You can they're like thinking, but now it's like, yeah, they're happy to give me. Anything else? You want my mom's social security? My brother?
you don't let them hesitate. Yeah,
You don't hesitate either. If you hesitate and
Right.
you're asking,
Yeah.
that's gonna
Right.
cause a problem.
Yeah.
And so what's your social? Just get right into it, and usually you'll get it every time.
Yeah, but it's the way you say it.
Can't hesitate.
And then if they balk about the thousand, I mean, one thing I would always use analogies whenever I would explain things. If they balk about spending $500 on an appraisal, I'm like, look, guy, man, you eat a bag of chips every day, and you're spending. You eat that sandwich, and you're buying a 6-pack of beer. That's your appraisal right there. So,
Anyone ever saw like the add-on insurance at like a retail store?
no, that's what I would tell them.
That's a Starbucks coffee a day.
Yeah, it's a Starbucks,
Cut
man.
that out. Get an appraisal.
Yeah, you want to complain? This is your house.
This is your future.
So.
Improve your health and get an appraisal.
It's true though. They have
No, I would not make them feel bad. I would say something, whatever. I mean, Starbucks or something like that. But just use something. Analogies are very good, I think, to explain things.
Providing peace of mind for their investment, for an appraisal. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that it helps them to, learning is relationship connected. They have to make a relationship with their mind. So whatever they can use to stimulate their mind with, you want to be able to do that quickly. And most people don't understand the home buying process, but you can explain it through something else that's analogous. Like, hey, have you ever made a pizza before? Here's how it works. And you can use that process or whatever they've done, or lifting weight. You can take all these parallels and explain it to somebody. Yeah. And that way they can make the connections. So that's and then you have their mind thinking about what they like to do. That is such a excellent thing to do when you're talking to people.
With one of the things when you're talking about like the fee for the appraisal or something that's required, you're using language like not like we require an appraisal and that costs $500. Typically, how I explain it is that an appraisal is required anytime that you purchase a property, okay, in this country or whatever by any company. So if you explain it in a way that the way that the borrower understands and perceives it is that this is required regardless of where you go. It doesn't matter if you're coming here or anywhere else, you're gonna need to get one. So they, helps sometimes differentiate. They would think, well, this might just be David who said, I want, or we need this. Sometimes that could happen. You could lose a deal, where you might want certain pieces of documents up front. You might ask for 2 years, all of this big list of documents, but let them know that, look, some of this is, not all required right now. These are the main pieces we need to get you pre-qualified, and help them understand that difference can keep the deal with you.
I remember one time there was a loan that, and it is true, what you say or how you say it is critical. There was a loan that I lost to another lender, and I was so upset because I gave the lady great service. It was a good loan, good sized loan, and bothered me. And I got her on the phone. I said, what happened? I mean, I really, I thought everything was great. I mean, the rate was good and the terms. And she's like, well, the reason I didn't go with you, Angelo, is because the other lender said that the option fee was optional. I didn't have to pay it, and you told me I had to pay it. I was like, oh my God, so you have to pay it anyway, but just the way he said it is the reason why you're going with him. It's unbelievable to me.
Oh, yeah.
The way you disclose things, the way you say things, the person had to still pay for the option fee, but it's the way that the other guy told her, and I told her she had to pay for it. And I said, look, I've learned now to say, hey, look, we don't require it. It's a negotiation between you and the seller. So you want to try and put it on them. Get it off of you and put it on them, because if they think you're making them pay the option, or it could be for anything, option fee, title insurance, whatever. But I've seen that too many times in this business. It's not just, it happens a million times. And so where they think that, you're trying to charge them for something. I don't know if you've ever experienced something.
Yeah, I forgot. I was going to touch on that earlier. Just like, you want to be thorough and set the right expectations, but you don't want to give too much information, because especially up front in the beginning, like stuff like that, definitely go over inspections, appraisal, and all that stuff. But like the rate, I don't usually throw out a rate, unless they ask about it, especially how the market is right now, so volatile. But when it was early, when it was pretty steady, level, great rates, I would toss it out there. You just want to kind of feel them out. Some people, they'll be fine with anything. They're just happy to get into a home. Some people, you do have to be careful about that. Sometimes, you don't want to lie to them, but sometimes, always try to overestimate when you can. Sometimes you might need to underestimate though, just to kind of.
Depending on the borrower.
Right. The cost too. Like sometimes I'll round down. I get a monthly payment. It comes up to $1,027, everything included. I'm like, the payment's about $1,000 a month. So you want to sometimes round down, underestimate.
Yeah. The other thing is too, is that's why I say only quote principal and interest. I don't feel comfortable quoting taxes or insurance until I have real data. I really don't, and I've just learned too many times that until you have the actual tax certs or you have a homeowner's insurance quote, I just think it's too risky. Because look at it like this: if they get another quote from another lender and the payment's $20 difference, some people, they may go with that. And in the end, you may have had the lower payment once everything's shaked out, but you didn't have, you're looking out for their best interest and you estimated high, and end up losing a loan.
Could end up going, if Mark Callahan would say quoted a borrower and he overestimated tax and insurance, and Angelo added that on, his was $25 cheaper, they're going to go with him instead of him.
Right.
He just lost a loan.
It's normally not that bad. It's normally not that bad. If it was about $100, it'd probably have not 20.
It depends.
Some people.
We did that in our house.
Well, some people, yeah. But
I was going to say, sorry,
No, go ahead.
not just sell the company, but you want to sell yourself too. Kevin was really good at that, and that's one thing I liked about him. You want to sell the company, sell the product, and sell yourself. I hear a lot of people say it, but like, let them know we're a bank. We are an actual bank, great rates, FDIC insured, but I'm not here 9 to 5. I work, I'm available. You can have my cell phone if you want. You want to try to sell yourself on that too. Like I've heard Rustin tell people, he's a senior loan officer before, it's like his 3rd day. You can tell him you've closed 100 loans, you haven't closed one, but it's just.
Well, no. Here's the thing: you want to be straight with people, be honest with them. sell your service, and I mean, you are available for, I mean, you make yourself available 24/7. You can't tell them you close 100 loans you haven't. So, but you do want to sell them on the service, what you offer. And so,
If you have anything questionable that you think's questionable, just run it past me and Angela. We'll let you know
Yeah.
if it's okay or not. But for the most part, I think you guys get the gist. Any questions?
any
No?
questions?
Nada?
Okay. I didn't want to go over that application. If you guys have time tonight, I'm willing to do it. Or if you need to go home, that's fine too. But I can do that tonight if you guys want to. It's up to you. So, all right, you can just stop on that, man.